Tesla stock continues to drop. Is it all a politics problem? Here to break down what's going on with this stock is MarketBeat analyst Chris Markoch. Chris, many stocks have struggled early this year, but Tesla might be the one struggling the most right now.
It's had a rough year. The stock's down about 29.5% when I wrote my article yesterday. It's down over 32% this morning, and that's been a pretty consistent fall. It's been dropping pretty consistently since the first of the year.
Let's get into the why. A lot of
Sure.
Tesla investors are saying, Elon, let's stop with the politics. It's hurting the stock. Do you think that's really the catalyst behind what's happening right now?
I think that's somewhat of what's going on right now is people just see the EV market's a little weak. They're seeing a lot of uncertainty about tariffs, and of course, the markets hate uncertainty. But there's no question Elon Musk's close proximity to Donald Trump, his close association with Doge, and there's a lot of investors who are either A, not happy about that, or B, they're just concerned about between his affiliation with Doge, between SpaceX, between X, how much time and energy is Elon really devoting to Tesla's business? And that has them concerned anytime you have a company that is so tied and so identified with its founder and leader like Tesla is.
Yeah, another part of that politics problem, we're seeing different countries and people across the US saying boycott Tesla because of that anger over Elon Musk and his
Right.
involvement with the administration. Do you think that sentiment is part of the downfall in the stock?
I don't know if that totally explains the weakness. Like, for example, BYD has overtaken Tesla in terms of market share in China. You're also seeing Tesla lose some market share in Europe. But I think it's hard to say why that is. I think it might just be a pricing thing too. So a little bit hard to tell, but I certainly think yes. I mean, Elon Musk is a polarizing figure. He's a bombastic leader, and when you get somebody like that that's so tied to the brand, it can be hard for investors to separate that.
Well, let's get to investor reaction right now.
Sure.
How are Tesla investors reacting? Are some jumping ship right now? Are some doubling down on the lower price? Kind of what are we seeing from investors?
Some long-term investors are starting to say, okay, this sell-off has gone on long enough, and they're starting to get in and buy the dip. I've seen some sentiment from other long-term investors that are kind of just sitting on their hands and saying, let's let this play out a little bit more. It's always difficult to time the market, but there could be some room for Tesla to drop further. It crossed below its 200-day moving average, and it's been kind of close to that moving average, but every day it seems to be pulling a little bit further and further away from that. And that's not a good sign. There's reason to believe it could drop another 20 to 30% yet. And that would put it down in like the 213 range. On the other hand, there's a lot of analysts who are very excited about the stock and still believe that the stock is going to be up close to that 300, 330, where it was before this sell-off began.
Well, everyone knows Tesla for their cars and the EV market. This company is doing a lot more with robotics and other avenues. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, but let's start with the EV market portion of Tesla as a
Sure.
company and the impact tariffs could have and kind of what's going on in that whole sector.
Well, sure. I mean, if you're going to be putting tariffs on things like aluminum and steel, that's going to hit directly into Tesla's business. Those two materials are critical to the construction of EVs. Tesla's already starting to lose market share in China. They're losing some market share in Europe. And of course, we know what the situation is like with EVs in the United States. Now, Tesla is by far and away the leader and the market share leader in the United States, but there is softening demand for many reasons. So there's no question you can't get around that. That is still what Tesla is most closely identified with, and that is a weak market.
Yeah, the EV market certainly has had some challenges this year, but there are plenty of investors who are still interested. If that's you, check out our free premium report on almost everything you need to know about the EV market. It has a lot of great information for investors who want to dive into this market a little more. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description of this video to get that free report on marketbeat.com right now. Chris, let's dive into the other areas of
Right.
Tesla's business. Robotics being one of the big ones.
Absolutely. I mean, Elon Musk has made it very clear that he believes that Tesla is going to win in the autonomous vehicle category. He's got his Optimus robots. This company is starting to spread its wings a little bit beyond and show investors what it can deliver outside of the EV space. Autonomous vehicles had their own challenges, but they're starting to gain acceptance. Especially, you're starting to see in major markets, people are starting to say, hey, you know what, I was in an autonomous vehicle this weekend, I was in an autonomous Uber, and it worked. And as long as that happens, that's good news for Tesla. They're also in the energy storage business, which, of course, as we know, that's going to become a huge issue as we have to update the electrical grid and there's need for power for data centers and other things. So Tesla's starting to show investors that it is more than a car company. Um, Still has a very high valuation, but it is starting to prove some of that out.
Yeah, now the big question is, are some of those areas of growth, the areas that
Mhm.
analysts are more bullish on about this
Right.
company, enough for investors to consider getting into a stock at such a volatile time?
Yeah, I think if you don't like volatility, Tesla's probably not the stock for you. And I don't try I'm not saying that to be glib, Bridget. It's just whenever you have a stock with a lightning rod like Elon Musk, and I think of this very closely to what I might think about with a stock like Palantir and a CEO like Alex Karp. These are going to be lightning rods, and that means there's going to be volatility. And again, if you're not comfortable with that kind of volatility, Tesla might not be the stock for you. But if you're comfortable with that and you have a long time horizon as an investor, then certainly Tesla's starting to look very attractive here. 32% down for the year. It's trading about the middle of its 52-week average. That's starting to seem very appealing. However, you do have to look at some of the other fundamentals and you have to wonder, does it have room to go down further? I mean, it is trading still over about 111 times forward earnings. So by other fundamentals, it is overvalued. But would have to say, if you were going to be looking to take a long-term position in it, this might be a good time to start a position.
Oh, Chris, there's the lightning rod factor about the
Right,
stock that you talked about. And then there's the factors of the potential of growth just in their business and innovation as
right.
well. I'm wondering what analysts are saying, given all the different factors surrounding this company.
Analysts have been a little bit mixed. Some have lowered their targets, some have basically held the line at where they were. But this week, Bank of America, they lowered their price target on Tesla from 490 to 380. However, that 380 price target is over 40% higher than what the consensus price is. So there's a reason to believe that analysts are still bullish on Tesla. They may not be quite as bullish as they were, but by and large, what you're seeing from the analyst community is they're setting their price targets above the consensus. That's also a bullish sign for Tesla investors.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you so much for breaking down this tumultuous stock for us today. If you're a Tesla investor, make sure to tell us what you think in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Also, check out another video we've done with Jeff Brown, who is a known Tesla supporter and investor. Check out what he has to say about this company and its future, too. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. And as always, happy investing.